What is up, Blazionaires and Blazionettes? So I have seen the movie, and if you're not aware of what this movie's about, it basically the premise is where the lead character who is a black man in a relationship with a white woman, and they go to meet he goes to meet her family for the very first time, and and from there on, he is basically in a world of and he's just in this really godforsaken like environment, um and it's basically the main element of this is basically racism. And honestly, I didn't think making that into a horror movie. I didn't think that would work. It didn't sound like a good idea to me, and the full trailer did not really sell this movie justice, in my opinion. But the very, very first time I watched that full trailer, I was not sold. I thought, how is this gonna work? And this is not gonna work at all. I mean, it's gonna be underwhelming. It's not gonna be that great. Like to me, I didn't think it was gonna be that great. But however, it did not. Even though it did not I did not gravitate towards this idea, and to the point where I was confident that it was going to be good. But I gravitated towards the movie to where I started to wonder, what if I'm wrong? What if it, like, I'm curious to see how this plays out. If it's bad, okay, because I was prepared for it to be that way. If it's good, then hey, my curiosity was rewarded with satisfaction, and that it was. I mean, that's what I was rewarded with when I walked out of that theater after I've seen it. And so it turns out that I'm wrong. This wouldn't be the first time they used you know, racism into a different type of genre where people can enjoy it, can actually watch it and not think that it was, offensive or anything like that. Like Django Unchained, for example, is a very good movie, and that it, it's the element of that is basically slavery and racism, and that movie says, like, fuck you to slavery and racism. And this movie also says fuck you to racism. If you've seen the movie, I think you would agree. But yeah, I thought it was not going to be that great, and I thought I was not going to be able to take Chris, our lead character, real seriously. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, you know what? This isn't bad. The actor who's playing him is pretty damn good. I was surprised with this movie, but as it got closer to its release date, I became more curious, and the reviews dropped, and I have not heard one bad review on this movie yet. And with Rotten Tomatoes giving it a 100%, I'm like, what? Rotten Tomatoes has terrible taste in movies most of the time, but this time, however, though I don't agree with it being flawless, but this movie is better than I gave credit for when I saw the first trailer for the very when that full trailer for the very first time. But 100% is too much on the nose, in my opinion. I would give it at least a 92%, or probably a 96 or 97% at the highest. So that's still very positive. And it's way better than the whole recycled concept of possession, of demon possessions. Like where it's a helpless woman in a nightgown being possessed by a demon, or if it's like another paranormal activity documentary like movie, or Conjuring, Annabelle, Insidious, all that shit. They're good movies, but they're basically like, it feels like they're trying to copy off of each other. Like after Paranormal Activity came out, and it's just like, ugh, can we see something different? I mean, Don't Breathe, that was something different, and this movie is also something different. So, yeah, and I didn't think it was going to be taken seriously. I thought it was going to be like a dark comedy. That's what I thought it was going to be. But this is actually a legit horror movie with some humor in it. I mean, like, a lot of horror movies have humor in it, have humor moments in it in those movies. But Chris's friend Rod, man, he is like the main source of the humor in this movie. Every time he's on screen, you just get a self of laughter, and he's also the voice of the audience, and like where he would say to Chris, like where there's a moment where he said, "I told you not to go to that house," and he's basically, like when you hear somebody talk, over talking in the movie theater, like where they're talking bad on the characters or whatever, they're sort of like, he was on his way to being like someone who would break down the fourth wall, like where he would talk to the audience, but at the same time he's really talking to himself. You know what I mean? So I guess it's easy to identify with him. With that all being said, and there is maybe at least one moment where Chris does something where he defies what black people say when they watch these movies, like, a black person wouldn't do that. No, I mean, like, I wouldn't do that. No, I mean, like, but we black people are smart. We would just run away. There is a moment where he does not run away. He just goes the exact opposite direction. And I was waiting for somebody to call bullshit on that, but I don't know. That's just me. But no, like, and I'll go ahead and give my rating before I get into a spoiler at the end of this review. But yeah, it was a surprise hit, and it turned out this movie actually did work after all, and yeah, I mean, like, it did. I wouldn't call it scary. I wouldn't call it the best horror movie or the best thriller of all time, but it's definitely up there with other movies that I would rank, other horror movies and other thrillers that I would rank as, juggernauts, pretty much. Like, they're pretty close to that. I mean, I'm not belittling the movie at all, saying that, like when I say that the 100% on Rotten Tomatoes is not entirely accurate for me, but it's pretty damn close. Pretty close. But with that all being said, this gets... I can't believe I'm saying this. I can't believe that I would be saying this about this movie, but it gets 4 solid chair spins out of 5. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 solid chair spins. Almost gave it 5. This movie may very well have some black people who don't want to deal with people outside of their race. They'll probably walk out of the theater like, now that is why I fucks with my own. But this movie does not, this movie does not necessarily scream, don't date white people, or don't date outside your race. This is all just entertainment, it's all for fun, and I'm sure a lot of people would see that. But then again, some people may take this a little too seriously, where I'm like, I don't know if I want to date outside my race anymore, or this is why I don't know if I want to mingle with whites or people outside of my race anymore. Okay, now I'm going to get into a spoiler on this movie, so stop the video right now if you have not seen the movie. Go check it out. I think you will enjoy it. Since, it has, like, a heart, since it's a genre that a lot of, blacks would like this, that we blacks would like to go see, and it does involve something that some blacks or some interracial couples can identify with, like with the whole premise, like of does your family know I'm black or whatever, like with that, like with all that there pretty much, and how it's a very awkward position for someone who is not white, you know what I mean? Like, do they know that I'm not white? I mean, that bothers some white families. So, and that's something that we gotta prepare for, you know what I mean? But, I mean, yeah, I mean, it all actually worked. And, but okay, now I'm gonna get into that spoilers, so go watch it. So if you enjoyed those elements of entertainment, then this is the movie for you. But okay, now get out of here. Spoiler time. Now, I'm gonna say that I would have called bullshit if Rose, the girlfriend, was not in on this too, because I mean, come on, that is her family. How would she not know? How would she not catch on about this? How could she? How would she not at least suspect that something was going on? You know what I mean? And and if she did suspect it, why would she take Chris out there? You know, and why would she stay in touch with them? Why would she even want to have anything to do with them if like if she was not in on it, with them too? You know what I mean? So the fact that she is in on it with them too, like what they're doing and everything, makes perfect sense. And if she wasn't and they didn't explain that, that would have ruined the movie for me, for realsies. So this is, I mean, like, it's just more realistic. I mean, I'm not saying I wanted her to turn out to be bad, but it's more realistic that way. Since it's her family, you know what I mean? But so yeah, and it turns out like I mean, it just turns out more. It just makes the movie more real to me, like that way. That's all. I mean, that's all I gotta say. But and I'm glad that the trailers did not give away that in the movie, like where it's like, oh yeah, you see that she's in on this too. Um, that would have been screaming for a sequel if she was not aware of what was going on and they left together and they're driving away together, and then you see that she basically knocks him out or whatever like that, and then she takes him back to the house, and then that would just end on a cliffhanger, and then you're like, okay, that's fucking bullshit that that the movie expects us to believe that she wasn't in on this too. But that was not the case. Not the case. But yeah, if you guys enjoy my review on this movie, make sure you thumb up the video and make sure you click subscribe if you're a newbie to the channel. Thank you for watching, and damn, I'm more, I mean, I have a comparison, like, I am like, it's a mixture where I'm relieved and satisfied at the same time. And yeah, I mean, I thought it was gonna be cringy hearing people, oh, this movie's gonna be great, just because those two elements put together, they're automatically gonna eat that up. But I was afraid that I wasn't gonna be able to, but not the case. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out, y'all.